Yo, yo, yo. Welcome to Philosopher Stoned. This is a special episode because this is just an interview. I don't really go into, much about how I feel about anything. It's really an interview with a guy named Mike the Experiencer. And he prefers the term experiencer. I prefer the term contactee or abductee. He had necessarily, we'll get into it. I don't want to spoil it. But it's fucking crazy. It's super interesting. I had a great ass time, and I'm going to definitely have a part two within the next few weeks or months or whatever. So enjoy it. It's a little long, but I'm telling you, it's worth it. It's good stuff. All right. Philosopher Stoned, how's everybody doing on this fine Sunday morning? I've got with me here Mike the Experiencer. How you doing, Mike?
Hello, sir. How are you?
Good?
I'm doing well.
Awesome. All right. Let's just jump into it. Mike is an experiencer, and I use the term contactee. He corrected me. He likes the term experiencer. So we're gonna get right into this here with him. So he's currently in New England area, so it's a North American story. That's very important to me because stuff happens in certain parts of the world for a certain reason. So let's just jump right into it. When did you begin to experience the otherworldly contact, as I would put it?
When you put it that way, I would actually have to say about 4 years old.
4 years old. Okay, can you tell us a little bit more about that?
Yes, I can. I knew I was seeing my grandmother, and she had already passed when I was 3. I was 4 years old, and I used to see her at night. I used to go downstairs with her, go outside. She would talk about things like the stars and all that. And one night, she actually took me outside, and we went out to the rabbit hutch. And she said to me, "They're going to have babies, right?" So we came out the next day, and my parents, probably just said it was like dreams and such. We went outside. We saw in the rabbit hutch a bunch of fur all over the place. My parents thought that maybe a fox got at it. This is actually not a rural area. We just had pet rabbits.
Yeah.
So, anyways, what happened was my parents thought the rabbits got killed, but then they popped out of the hutch, and I looked over and said, they're going to have babies. They don't know how I knew it and all that. I just have a fond memory of that. So the relationship between that and the otherworldly stuff has to do with something that I've actually agreed with when it comes to Whitley Strieber. Whitley Strieber, his wife, Anne Strieber, said when all those letters, the communion letters, this has something to do with death.
Yeah, he's very, 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 very adamant about this having to do with death. Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah. Not necessarily the passing, but the existence beyond death.
What happens to our energy post death?
Yep, energy does not get destroyed under any normal circumstances. So, something goes on.
I was talking about that earlier on Twitter today. So, aside from that, when you were a kid, were you into UFOs and stuff like that? Was that an entrance? Because I mean, I've always been pulled towards it, even earliest as I can remember, and a lot of other people I know that are into this kind of stuff, they have the same story. Something about it just pulled them in from the beginning. So you're saying you never ever were like that as a kid?
Not as a kid. My father's the one who turned me on to the UFO subject, and he was pretty much watching all these UFO shows and I'm not gonna lie, I used to be one of those people who actually made fun of abductees.
Really?
Didn't believe.
Wow.
Yes, I did.
That's a big 180. That's a big 180.
I'll admit it.
Yeah.
My friends know. My friends in the abduction field know that, and I apologize regardless. Being one, shoes on the other foot now, isn't it? But like I said, when it came to my grandmother, the first thing is like, ghosts and spiritual things were happening to me a lot. So that thing I was aware of. Okay.
Yeah.
I never related aliens or interdimensions or anything to this because I didn't really know about it as a kid. I mean, sure, I saw ET as a kid. I'm 41. I don't mind giving that.
Yeah.
So it came out when I was a really little kid. I didn't understand it. I just did not understand it, but I thought it was cool. I even thought it was like one of the first movies ever made.
Yeah, you did. You probably didn't think too hard into it. You probably didn't think about, could that be real? Could this be a story just telling us a little bit of the truth? You didn't think of anything like that. Wow, that's wild to me. So tell us. You mentioned to me when we were shooting shit back and forth. You mentioned to me about your awakening. So tell us about the awakening. I want to know about the awakening because every single story, I don't want to say similar, but in the vein of yours, there's an awakening. And even people like me, there's the time when we got red pilled or whatever, the moment where we saw that there was more to it than just the surface level stuff that we see every day. So tell us about your awakening.
Well, I had a lot of things in my life that were kind of culminating to this point anyway, but they weren't really waking me up. What happened was this. We came back from our honeymoon in 2010, and I think it was something around July 16th, right? Mm-hmm. And I woke up in the middle of the night. I would assume it's the middle of the night. I didn't have a clock nearby. The whole room was lit up like blue, like light white blue. I did not have any fear whatsoever. There's a lot of people do have fear with this, but for some reason, I didn't have any fear. What I can say is this: I felt compliant, happy. I can do whatever I want right now. It's cool. I just want to chill, right? But I did not feel paralyzed. There was no sleep paralysis in my life ever. Just going to document that right now. I've never had it.
Yeah, that's important. That's important. That really is important.
Yes.
Sleep paralysis.
Because a lot of people are off to sleep paralysis.
Yeah.
Yeah. That doesn't.
Yeah.
Anyways, my point here is this: I noticed the room was lit up. I felt like I was vibrating, but not unpleasantly. It's almost like you have a starter charge on your body without discharging. Mm-hmm. Sometimes you can kind of feel your hair and all that kind of stuff. So I'm sitting here. I'm all chilling out everything. I feel a hand come up to here and turn my head. Mind you, it wasn't paralysis. It's just somebody turning my head because I wasn't really resisting.
Yeah, you let it happen.
Yeah, I just let it happen. I looked and I saw. I actually have a picture of it. This. Looking into my eyes. I'm an artist, by the way.
Nice. Same here. Oh wow. That's what
I saw.
That's what moved your head.
Yep. That's what moved my head.
So I'm noticing a blue tint. I'm noticing a blue tint to that drawing. Is that the light? Is that the blue tint from the light, or is that what his skin looked like?
I think at that time I wouldn't have known, but I have seen them since then, and they did have blue tints. I mean, they've been different colors throughout my life from what I'm saying, because when you get awakened to this type of thing, memories start coming back.
Yeah.
Okay? It's not the same thing as I remember this dream. I'll give you an example. It's like seeing a toy from your childhood that your mom pulls out of the trunk. Oh, do you remember this? Suddenly stuff starts flying back into your head. Oh, I remember this. Wow. Oh my gosh, I forgot. I completely forgot. That's the type of memory I had when it came to seeing this and all the memories coming back. But as I'm saying, lately these have been like a bluish tint, and I know that because they've come outside of the blue light. Like they've just been walking down my hallway, peeked around the corner, and I'm like, oh, look. So yeah, I think these are blue.
So. Wow, I could have piggybacked so hard on all. There was a few points there that was really good. So, I mean, so you have physical contact with some bluish type, I'm gonna go ahead and classify them as grays because they do have similar gray. Now, I want to ask. When you see them, so when I feel like I'm a huge fan of Terminator, Skynet, all the cyborg stuff, like all that stuff. Like I was really into that as a kid, And I always thought, if I was near a cyborg, if I was near something like a robot or something like that that was disguising itself as a human, I'd be able to tell. I'd be able to decipher sentience versus insentience. Now, I know that the big theory on the Greys is that they are like a holographic type bot, something sent as a worker, or as, you know, how we send things to the bottom of the ocean to pick up samples and stuff like that, kind of like that. Did you feel like this thing was alive? Like, did you feel like it was okay? So explain that. Explain how you felt.
I'll give you an example, and this is something that everybody has to understand. This is very disjointed and very weird because we are so attached to time, like a chronology of how everything goes. The thing is, these beings don't seem to adhere to that. Now, that's why everything sounds like so confusing. So, when it comes to these beings, pardon me. When I remember back as a kid, you know how I told you like of the awakening I had, and now all these memories come back. I remember seeing the bot-looking ones when I was a kid in my room, like where I lived in the previous house. The Greys come in many different forms, and honestly, to tell you the truth, I'm not sure that they're showing up as themselves. I think they're more of a consciousness because there's so many different forms. It might be just like Earth, you know, how there's so many different types of people, if you will. Remember one thing, everybody, we're one race.
Yeah.
Just let you know.
Yeah.
Trying to tell everybody, there is no color. There's human being, just let it go. So, I felt that this was not a droid. This was actually more of a being, okay? I don't know how else to explain it. It's as if when it looked at my eyes, it was concentrating, and I wouldn't think that a robot would actually concentrate in that way.
And you didn't feel that concentration from the robots you felt, or the droid-like beings you saw when you were a kid?
No, they bounced around me and stuff like that. I had a time where I remember when there was this one being, and I'll show you another picture if I may, that I've seen quite a bit. I call it the Rod. Here you go.
Oh, wow.
See that?
Yeah. He looks less...
dude.
He looks a little less detailed in the face.
Yeah, it's weird, but the funny thing is I have more than one image of Gerard in my head, but I know it's still Gerard. See how it's disjointed?
Mm-hmm.
You know, it doesn't necessarily have to be time. Sometimes they're form. It's like you look at it and you know that, that's one visage of Gerard, or this one or that one, you know? So anyways, I mean, this one was tall. And they're right. They usually do come in like threes or more. And they usually came in threes. Like this dude would come in, and I would see what looked to me like, the way I think right now, they looked like hybrids. Kids that looked like me wearing blue pajamas, stringy hair, but they looked like me. It was really weird.
Like in the face, like you're saying they looked like you specifically, not just kids.
Yes, like I would say they probably look like brothers or sisters or something like that.
Wow. Like similarities. Maybe that was maybe that's like maybe that was a form of them trying to get you to feel comfortable, or trying to give you some type of comfort if you see people that look like you. Because I'm under the impression, especially the early contact stuff, they don't know how to act like humans. Like they don't know. They know biologically what we need and what we like, and you know we feed off love and happiness and stuff like that. They know that, but they don't know how to execute that correctly as humans. It's like the whole like the Men in Black stories that are real famous, like the real Men in Black stories, where it's like the guy's in the office talking and he's like running out of breath and getting all antsy. It's like he has a time limit before he runs out and needs to like readjust his human body or something like that. All right, so Man, there's just so many avenues we could go through here. So you've
Pick one.
you've
It's only related.
all right, cool. It's so you've only seen these grayish type beings. This is the race that you've seen mostly, or have you seen a few others?
I've seen a few others in my point of view. Now, mantids are interesting. I don't know why about anything. Okay, this is just like subjective in many aspects. It's like you got the Gerard one, who didn't necessarily look like it looked full body, but tall, fairly thin, but tall. You got the little droids that were popping around the hybrid looking ones. There was one that was obviously a droid trying to act as a clown. I called it Marshmallow for some reason, but I knew it was like a screen image. I know that's not you.
So you're saying
You're about to say
he
something.
was acting like a clown, like a bozo, like
One of them, yes, all blue. I remember the image of it in the blue outfit. You see him quite a bit. Basically, I see it puffing out its outfit, and suddenly frills pop up on its collar here, and its collar's here, and it goes like this, and it suddenly a red nose appears, and it tried to like screen image me. I'm like, I know what you are, and this time I looked like a little kid. From 4 to like 6, I remember seeing them at night. I used to play at night. My mom says, "You can play at night. Be quiet," because she couldn't get me to go to sleep for so many reasons. So that's what I did.
man, it's almost as like it's almost as like they were trying to, like, they saw a clown on TV, or they were watching somebody and they were watching a human positively react to clowns, so they threw a clown at you.
Reacted to clown.
Yeah, like what? But that's so interesting, man. It's like, so
This from before. If they visited some kids or something.
yeah, exactly. Like if they read some kid's mind and that's what he was dreaming about, laughing at a clown or something like that. So I want to jump to direct contact. So we've gone over the ones you've seen. Now I actually want to stop myself. Have you seen any reptile-like beings?
I have one memory.
One memory.
And it's one of the oddest situations I've ever
let's do that
had.
one. Let's go that one. Let's go down that route. I like that. Yeah.
Well, there's obviously, you know about the theories. There's some good. There's some bad. There's a lot of bad. I don't know what the deal is. Draconians,
The Lyrians, the Bootians. Yeah, I know all about it.
Well, here's what I remember, and it relates to something somebody else told me, which is very interesting. I remember almost as if I was looking at myself as an infant, like a tiny baby. I remember being brought to something that looked like, and this is going to be a little weird, if you remember Men in Black 1 with Will Smith in the big room with the army guys and all that, and he pulls the table over to the chair, it looked like I was placed that looked like that chair.
Wow.
It was inside of a cave that separated off into something that looked like a hallway that was all stainless steel. And I'm remembering looking at this in a different angle. Now, after my infant body's placed in there, alive, nothing wrong or anything like that, I know what did it. A very large iguana-looking creature. And here I am lying down there, but I do know one thing, which is really, I enter my infant body. And I'm looking at the reptile from that side. I have two different viewpoints on the same subject at the same time. I'm my energy being, if you will. I'm in my body after that, and I see this thing walking away. And I remember you saying something about some of them have tails, some of them don't. This guy had a tail. It wasn't super long or anything like that. But what he did was he turned and he looked back at me. Didn't look mean or anything. It just looked like a big iguana to me. It didn't look like a crocodile.
Yeah. You know how some of them look really scary? They had the drawings, like they're really like a lot of like fangs and like a lot of like the little pointy things.
No.
Yeah.
I mean, at the most, he looked like a Comodo dragon, but you look at a Comodo dragon, unless you know about it, it's just going to look like a big reptile.
Yeah, it's anyways cool. Yeah.
Back, right? I think it's down its back, and this is so funny that it's in my head. down its back, it had something that I would call parts of its spine that looked like large feather. Okay. Now, I don't know if it was like a rattlesnake. You know how a rattlesnake's tail, as it grows, parts of its spine come off on the inside of this, like, the rattle fixture at the end, and that's what gives it its rattle. It's actually vertebrae that grows into that rattle part.
Yeah.
But anyways, let's go this way.
Yeah.
Basically, this is what he did. He looked back, saw me, and went like, shh. He's got these big feather-looking things on his back, and on the bisecting his spine, right? Not like, I mean, I should say on either side of his, and it sounded like that, like
a shaker, yeah.
And I can remember getting some amusement out of that, and off it walked. But that's all I remember from that one scene, and that's from like when I was a baby. I've heard of all these people having memories when they were born in the womb and all that, and I'm like, damn, I didn't expect that to happen.
Yeah, yeah. So I have a question. So that time with the Comodo, the dragon, we'll call him the dragon type being.
Go ahead.
That was the only time where you saw two versions of yourself, correct? Like where you felt like you were separated twice.
Yeah, it was almost like a location of my consciousness.
So that's wild to me. It's interesting to me that that's the only time that you had that feeling, and that it was the reptile that did it, because a lot of the stuff that I've read, it's kind of insinuating that the reptiles are like the top hierarchy, like as if they had first dibs on us, and then the grays just come in afterwards if the reptiles don't care, or the reptilians don't care. So, yeah, go ahead.
One thing, that was the first time in my head that I remembered a reptile, number one. Number two, it's more along the lines of this. It's like I was able to be in energetic form and then back into the body. It wasn't like two people, if you understand me.
That's what I meant. I mean,
energetic.
Yeah, I mean, like, it was out of body. It's as if, like, you astral projected. It's like you astral projected to the other side of the room, and you just were staring at your body. Yeah, I know. I was that. My bad. It's a little early.
That's okay.
Yeah,
sure.
That's cool. All right.
I'll elaborate on something really quick.
Okay.
I've had different times in my life where it's been like that, where I've actually felt like I've been outside my body, staying my body, or I've actually had some dreams here and there where I'm going to say the Greys. Sometimes it was the Mantid, have actually directed me onto a table. But the thing is, I'm not me. I'm actually above, looking at them direct my body, as if it's like a remote controlled up, putting me on the table.
Like they remove your energy self from your physical body before they start messing with your physical body. Almost as like an astral anesthesia. Like, here, like we're about to mess with your physical body, so we're gonna take the real you out of your meat sack and place you above, so you don't really feel exactly what we're doing to you. So
and I think that too, because there's people out there who have such horror about it. You know, it's just like, oh my god, these stuck needles, and they put their hand on their head. And
I feel like you've had so many
Oh.
experiences that you could write a fucking book, man. Like,
Kind of am like,
yeah, awesome. That's great. Well, I'm after this one, I'm definitely gonna want to have to revisit you on this, because I honestly didn't realize how many questions I was gonna have, because now I'm just like,
ask me
let's just
what
go.
do you want.
So
Just keep going.
so the most familiar ones were the pictures you showed me, Gerard.
Those are the ones that I'm like really interacting with now. The blue ones.
Yeah, as if you got picked for their team, and the other ones kind of left you alone.
I don't know about leaving me alone. Maybe it's a matter of this. Maybe it's a matter of sequence. Like, you'll see things at certain times going through your life, and maybe it's just time for them to kick in. I've seen the shadowy figures that are considered the kobold, but I haven't seen their face. They're like little dwarfy guys with like dark purple or dark blue coveralls on them, starting here and there. I swear to God, this is just as much psychological as it is physical for most people. In my opinion, I'm sorry. I'm like I said, I'm only talking to myself. I'm not going to actually put words in other people's mouths.
Yeah, no, I understand.
So the psychology behind this is immense. I mean, it's just like, I mean, I was having problems before this happened. I'm happy this happened because it straightened me out. I didn't know what was going on with me. I was self-medicating. I was drinking. I don't drink anymore. I was drinking to get myself to go to sleep.
Yeah.
And if my life was going to turn into a nightmare if I did not awaken this.
Yeah. If you didn't,
I'm very happy.
If you didn't face this shit head on, it's just gonna. Even if your brain somehow regresses it, it's just gonna build up over time. All right.
Yeah, but it was searching it.
Yeah, exactly.
It just popped up.
Yeah.
And, oh, hi, I'm Ray.
So do you think? I just want to piggyback on this. It stuck with me for some reason. Especially when you said the sequences, you maybe in your mid to, maybe this portion of your sequence, of your soul sequence, these grays are the ones that are to watch and observe, observe and report. That's it's, I feel like a lot of the alien stuff goes back to their jobs. Like, it's not like they're wild and free, living in an open world, having Star Wars good times at the cantina. It's like, it's more like everyone has a set designated job to do. The Greys have a job. The Reptilians have a job. It's like they all have this super dignified purpose, and most humans on Earth are just like, what the fuck ever. They don't, man, most humans don't give a shit about, they only give a shit about their job 8 hours a day, and it seems like aliens give a shit about their job for light years. They spend centuries and centuries. It's like they feel, it's like they're, the way I look at it is like, are we like ants in an ant farm, and all the aliens are just different types of humans taking care of us? You know what I mean? It's just like, it's so, it's yeah, it just jogs around there up there when I think about this stuff. So
I gotta tell you something really quick.
All right.
Just remember, we have no capacity of understanding the universe, and now they're trying to say that there's more universe.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
It's just gonna keep going on and on and on. So just take it as it comes. Is what I tell most people.
Yeah, exactly. All right, I want to jump back to your experiences directly. What is the contact like? Because I know a lot of people that have experienced have a message given to them. There's the same old John Titor message where it's like, you guys are ruining everything. You have to stop ruining everything. You're chosen to tell everyone that we're fucking ruining everything. So what are the Greys telling you? What are they trying to get across to Mike?
All right. So here's how it goes. Whatever the consciousness is actually telling us, because they say there's many things going on at once, is we are not the children anymore. Very odd. Also, they told me to wake people up. And then the funny thing is, when they told me this, obviously not. You've heard about the telepathy. Right? Mm-hmm. Well, they used metaphor, telepathy, and visual stimuli in your brain, so you can see things and all that. And it's like, when they said wake them up, I saw one at that time. It was actually in my hallway right over here. And that's what I was staring straight at. Like, I couldn't let go of the stare. Wake them up was ringing in my head. Big picture of the earth and bunches of people just walking around. That is a message that is not singular to me. I think there's a lot of people out there who are getting it. They need to do this. And amongst the millions of people like me, we got to remember something. This is not something necessarily to be singularly special about, okay? I'm working with a bunch of people on this. This is a bunch of people. It's not a one-person thing. So my job is similar to many out there. Maybe my aspect is just to go out and tell people. And this is what I'm doing this for right now. It's like, I'm telling people right now, you got to wake up. There's something else going on. And there's actual evidence that it's going on. You want a body, you want a craft, you're not getting it. But the thing is, what they're doing to us is quite interesting. We get marks, we get implants, We have corroborated witness testimony, like people who are seeing UFOs at the same time. It's just like too many people are just sitting down and just saying, it can't be real. Damn, people are cognitively dissonant and all that. But I'm here to wake people up. I'm telling people, you know what? I don't have walls, okay? There aren't any walls here. Just wake up to what's going on. We'll get better that way. It may be gradual. It may be one of those things. But that's one of the things they told me. The second thing is that they don't actually, I do know this, and I can corroborate with many other people, that they don't want us destroying this planet. And they don't want us to die either. But if it comes to the planet versus us, they might just let us do ourselves in. Yeah, might. I don't know that for a fact.
That's that's awesome. That's awesome to me. That I mean, but it's like some people, paint aliens all out as benevolent. It's just
you can't do that.
Yeah, and you can't. I mean, you really can't. Because, like I said, it's like they have a job. It's like this is their job. It's almost like they have no feelings, really. Like customer service people. Customer service people will pretend like they care. Like, are the Greys the customer service of the Council of Aliens? Like, are they just doing damage control? Like, that's really what sometimes I think about. But man, about to have to cut this short. But dude, this was awesome. I'm so glad. I definitely want to do a part 2 in a week or two, or whenever we can get this thing together.
I'll try to find. I might have to go outside to do it.
It's all good. We'll figure it out, man. Well, thank you so much, Mike, for letting me pick your brain for a little bit and try to get more truth out there, more because I think a lot more people have been experienced or contacted than they know. They know that's.
I mean, don't know.
Exactly. I spent a lot of years, looking at the sky, hoping to get, where are y'all? Why aren't you talking to me? And I know you can't do that and stuff like that. It's got to be, it's some stars aligning type shit. It's. I mean, I think it has to do a lot with bloodlines and where your soul came from and why. I don't know. I wish I had answers, but that's just why we need to talk to everybody and get those answers out. Yeah. All right, man. Well, thank you so much, dude.
Really quick.
Yeah, what's up?
Don't stop looking up at the sky. Don't stop looking around. It's not just something that's coming down from somewhere else. These beings are here.
Yeah.
They have a way of either cloaking or camouflaging themselves, but they're here. So
I'm a huge Hollow Earth theory guy, so I feel like there's something down there. And shit, maybe you can come back and we can chop it up about that too.
Okay, take my brain anytime.
All right, man. Well, I'm gonna have to let you go. Thank you so much again, Mike. I'll do my best to spread the truth, man. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
All right, bud.
My pleasure.
Appreciate it. Is your mind blown? Because mine is, for sure. It's been about a week since I did that interview, and I'm still thinking about it now. I thought about it all week at work. Like that shit was powerful. We're definitely gonna have a part 2, and I wanted to let everybody know, anybody that tunes in, even anybody that gives a shit. I'm doing a lot of reading, a lot more extensive research on the next few topics, because a lot of the first episodes, like the Anunnaki and stuff like that, they're just kick door episodes. I'm just showing you a little bit because there's so much more that I can get into, which is exactly what I'm doing now. And it's a lot of reading and cutting and finding pieces of information that seem to add up. There's also a lot of stuff that just doesn't exist. There's a lot of lost info to time and people fucking covering stuff up, and all the fucking organizations that fucking hide our true history. Anyway, yeah, so I just want to let y'all know I got some big episodes coming, a lot of research. So yeah, we're about to get into Hollow Earth, and if you know me, you know that's my shit. Yes. All right, Philosopher's Stone. Thank you, thank you, thank you.